in the night, your heart fills with dread. Probably a murderer who wants you dead. It could be a ghost, a demon, or worse. Perhaps you're the victim of a witch's curse. It's hopeless, you're doomed. You'd call a priest if you could. You'd rather just listen to who? Sinisterhood.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Freaky Friday, where we tell your odd but true stories. It is Friday, October 3rd, 2025, and it is Witch Eve. If I'm season of the Witch Eve.
Also, happy TS12, Life of the Showgirl, to everyone who's celebrating.
Release day.
And hopefully we're going to see everyone tomorrow at 8 p.m. at the Texas Theater. If you're in or near Dallas, Texas. If you're not, you can still stream the entire event via Keysway. It's all on our website, sinisterhood.com/live shows. But if you can make it in person, we're going to be doing some in-person stuff that's going to be hoot and holler.
And like we said, we need you all there. We need to bring our energies together to blow the roof off the theater. So go to sinisterhood.com/live shows. If you're in or around Dallas.
Be happy about that. We're going to have to do a crowd fund afterwards to repair the roof.
Restore the Texas Theater.
For that. Restore the Texas Theater. Sinister blew the roof off of it.
We did. And also, if just another reason to go in person, the Texas Theater is doing their video crypt again, where they have like all the old VHSs you can walk through. So while you can stream our show on Keysway, walking through the historic theater and getting to see dope shit like that is something that's only going to be in person. So make it down there before the roof is removed by us on Saturday.
Sorry, Texas Theater, but someone was bound to do it.
It wasn't Oliver Stone when he was there, and I saw him talking about JFK.
And it wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald, because he was a patsy and didn't really do it. So he was just there. I mean, I think he did do some stuff, but he didn't do the main thing.
Exactly. They photoshopped him. He was a Photoshop victim. Well, thank you for gathering all of our stories today. We've got a wild story to kick us off, as well as a story from Down Under to end it. So everyone stick around for the story at the end.
From one side of the globe to the next, this will take you on a journey. Well, I'm Christy.
I'm Heather.
And let's get freaky. This first one's from Jacqueline, and content warning that is obvious by the subject line: my grandparents' murder-suicide story. Jacqueline writes, hello all. You might know me from such Sunday Scaries classics as the Sally Struthers walking video or What the Inside of Bird's Mouths Look Like. I've contemplated writing in my story, well, my family's story, for a while. But after a conversation I had with someone who was still pro-guns after the Charlie Kirk shooting, I felt it was time. On August 9th, 1963, my maternal grandfather shot my grandmother, then himself. My mom was 8 years old and witnessed the entire incident, along with her 4 siblings. There had been fighting between her parents that evening, and unfortunately, this was nothing new. My mom said that my grandfather had threatened to, quote, end it all before and drive himself, my grandmother, and their 5 children off of a cliff. My grandfather was an alcoholic and very jealous. He'd had a recent jail stint due to, quote, wife beating, per one of the articles. My grandmother was beautiful and loved to flirt. This only enraged my grandfather more. Going by the dates in the article, my grandfather would have been 18 at the time he married my grandmother, who was 13. My mom says her grandmother knew her soon-to-be son-in-law was abusive, but agreed to the marriage to get her daughter out of the house so she was no longer her responsibility. I cannot help but ask, what if my grandfather never had such easy access to guns? What if he'd had access to mental health care instead? Would our family story be different? Would I have had the chance to have my grandparents around? Unfortunately, I will never have the answers. But what I can do is advocate for gun reform and better access to mental health services, whatever that looks like. I've been greatly helped by therapy after recognizing signs in myself of increasing anger and unresolved past trauma. It works if you put in the work. I want to thank you ladies for bringing these topics to light with respect. I started listening to the pod when y'all covered Erica Girardi and have stayed ever since. I even brought my conservative mom to the 2023 Los Angeles show, and she enjoyed herself. I've included the 2 articles on my family and photos of my grandparents, Johnny and Connie Lopez, for your eyes only. Here's to continuing to fight the good fight. Keep it creepy, Jacqueline.
Oh, Jacqueline, thank you for sharing your grandparents with us and your beautiful grandmother.
Yes, who was gorgeous.
Knockout.
Yes, from this picture. And what a sad, sad story to be so young, 13 to 18. And unfortunately, because your own mom doesn't want the responsibility, she's willing to say, yeah, you can go ahead and go and get married, even though this guy is abusive. And man, when it starts that young and there's drinking involved, it only gets worse and so often ends in, unfortunately, how it ended for your family, which is the worst way it can end.
Absolutely. And to hear that, in previous instances, he had said, I'm going to take the kids as well, or, hurt everyone. To have 5 kids left behind is hard enough. But your mom having witnessed what no child should ever even have to have happen to them, much less in the same room with them. And then her 4 siblings having to grow up without parents. I'm just so sorry. But I think you're doing the right thing of asking, what could prevent this from having happened to somebody else? How could we protect another set of kids from having this happen to them? And you're right. Anger management, mental health access. And when somebody's ready to make that decision, a gun that is kept in a place that takes 3 or 4 steps to get a hold of it, so that you're not just going and grabbing it from the top drawer.
No. And back then, 1963, it just wasn't like that, So when we know better, we do better. Unfortunately, this is still a story that goes on today, regardless of how many decades have passed. And yes, your mother is, a warrior. I'm so glad you've gotten mental health care for yourself. And I hope your mom and her siblings have as well, because what a horrible, horrible thing to witness and grapple with for the rest of your life.
And it's a heavy thing to carry alone.
Yes.
So yeah, getting help is the way to go. But thank you, Jacqueline, not only for sending in this story, but for being such a wonderful shining light for us every week on Sunday Scaries.
Yes,
we love seeing you,
those
man, in the chat.
Classics.
Both of those are
Sally
Sunday Scaries.
Struthers walking video, definitely classic. And the bird's mouse, we've had several. So thank you for your continued contribution of those horrifying nightmares.
I dreamt that a dolphin bit me a few nights ago, but then it's inside its teeth were foamy, bird teeth, the kind of soft. And I woke up being are dolphins birds? I got to get my hand in their beak, but maybe not. It's probably not a good idea.
I think they've got real teeth. But I've heard they might bite you. I've heard that's not the worst that they could do to you.
They do. Ask can't kill. Ask can't kill.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh no. One of the best episodes.
They also can help you. They also help surfers and people drowning all the time. So it's
Save
just,
lives.
You get a good one and sometimes there's bad ones, just like people.
Exactly.
Well, thank you again, Jacqueline, for sending that in and sharing your family's story with us.
Sinisterhood will be right back. You know that hoodie that you can't stop reaching for? The one that feels like a second skin, that's soft, warm, and somehow makes you feel a little more grounded? Well, I found it. And trust me, it's not what you expect. It's called PAKA, spelled P-A-K-A. And if you're tired of hoodies that stretch out, peel, or feel all heavy, this is the upgrade you've been waiting for.
PAKA makes performance apparel from alpaca fiber, one of the world's most sustainable natural fibers. Their best-selling hoodie is softer than cashmere, warmer than wool, and breathable enough to wear year-round. It's lightweight but cozy, adapts to the weather, and it won't stretch out or pill. This is a hoodie built for real life, thermoregulating, odor-resistant, durable, and made to last.
Each one is handcrafted in Peru with the artisan's name stitched into the tag as a mark of quality and care. Over 100,000 people have already picked up the PAKA hoodie, not only because it feels amazing, but because it's made sustainably and ethically from traceable alpaca fiber while supporting the communities that create it. I love this thing.
Oh,
I've worn
man.
it while we record. I've worn it around the house. I just am like, get me inside of it.
It's so good. It's like so soft. And they also sent some cute little alpaca stickers with it. And Ella found those. I was like, you can have those. She's like, what's this from? And I was like, oh, it's a new sponsor. The hoodie is made from alpaca. She was like, is it soft? I was like, yeah, it's really soft. And then I showed it to her and she goes, blue alpacas? And I said, I think they probably died.
Mine's green too. Girl, you wouldn't believe the colors they have.
They're such good colors. And I
Green.
love that the thing stitched down on the end, it's with the name, but also kind of just like the cool little design. It's
a good vibe.
It's a vibe and it's so comfy and soft. It looks very high end. Like,
oh yeah.
I would wear this like to pretty much anywhere. You could dress it up, dress it down. It's lightweight. So when you live in a place like Texas and it doesn't get freezing, it's a great like layering piece that you can just wear all the time and anywhere.
That's why I was like, I want to wear it on like a cold hike too. Whenever right now it's my cozy around, but I was like, this could layer whenever I go on a walk outside or something. So I'm looking forward to it. My mom grabbed it and went, what is this? Where did you get this? I said, it's a PAKA hoodie. And now I know what I think I need to get you for your birthday.
They're great. And anybody would love them. They look great on everybody. Their colors are great. Also socks. The socks.
Yeah.
I love a soft sock. And they've got the little alpaca on it.
They're so cute.
So cute. Well, right now, when you order a PAKA hoodie, they'll throw in a free pair of their alpaca crew socks. Maybe the only thing better than the hoodie itself. These socks keep your feet dry, resist odor, feel insanely cozy, and even come with a lifetime guarantee. If you've been waiting to upgrade your hoodie game, this is your sign to do it.
To grab your PAKA hoodie and free pair of alpaca crew socks, head to pakaapparel.com/creepy and use our code creepy. That's PAKA apparel.com/creepy. Enter code creepy.
This next one is from Laura and is called Never Walk Home Alone in the Dark. Hello, wonderful ladies. I'm currently listening to the Freaky Friday episode with the listener story, Creepers Be Creepin'. And I figured I would write in to share my very similar, unnerving, punch-you-in-the-face, terrifying encounter. When you're a young woman entering college, you're taught a few cardinal rules, such as 1, never, ever, ever accept a drink from a stranger, especially if that stranger is a man. 2, never leave your drink unattended to avoid the possibility of being drugged. And 3, never, and I mean never, walk home alone in the dark after a night of drinking. Well, ladies, I broke rule number 3 almost instantly. My young, dumb 20-something brain convinced myself that I was bulletproof and that I would live forever. Early 20s me was not so much into true crime, so she wasn't fully aware of how dumb she was being. But I digress. Let's move on to the story. One night, after a night of drinking and partying at my frat, around 2 a.m., I said goodbye to my friends and made my way back home to my apartment, which was a little under a half a mile away and about a 10-minute walk. I Google mapped it just to make sure. I made this walk more times than I can count. I always felt safe due to all the other students and gaggles of sorority girls walking around, going from one party to the next, as my frat was in the heart of Frat Row. Once I turned onto my street, though, it was always very quiet, as it was more of a residential area and little to no student housing. On this night, like most of the others, I was the only one on the street utterly alone. I was making my way down the street and coming up to an alleyway that had huge hedges on both sides, making it impossible to see into the alleyway from where I was, when I saw a tall, pitch-black figure walking towards me. I stopped dead in my tracks. I could not see any details of this person, just the dark outline of a person walking towards me, almost like it was a shadow person. Then, to my absolute horror, I watched the figure jump behind the hedges and disappear. The amount of terror that flooded my veins was indescribable. I froze like a deer in headlights and started screaming in my head, "Fuck, fuck, fuck! What do I do?" I did not want to turn my back on whoever, or whatever, just hid behind the hedges, and I certainly did not want to walk past said hedges. So I made the split-second decision and sprinted across the street to the other sidewalk and sprinted the rest of the way home, which was only a few yards away. That sprint felt like a lifetime, my life flashing before my eyes. I kept thinking, I am going to die. I am going to be kidnapped and murdered. I burst through the front door of my apartment complex and made a beeline for my first floor apartment door. I fumbled with my keys, all while looking over my shoulder and hyperventilating. I finally got my door open. I threw it open and instantly slammed it shut and locked the door. I slid to the floor, still hyperventilating. I cried a lot. I was terrified. Did I forget to mention I lived by myself? Well, I did. Alone in my apartment, afraid I was going to be murdered, I did what anyone would do. I threw on some PJs and stayed up all night watching The Office to calm down. Now, ladies, you would think after this terrifying encounter that I would have learned my lesson and never walked home alone again, right? Nope. After a week or two of having someone walk me home, I started back on my shenanigans and started walking home by myself. Oh, to be young and dumb. So, what do we think? Was it a shadow person playing a cruel prank or something much more sinister? To make myself feel better, I say shadow person, but of course I know it was most likely a human man with sinister intentions. Keep it creepy and never walk home alone in the dark. Laura. P.S. I wrote in a few weeks ago about the time I saw Jeffrey Epstein's island being raided while on vacation.
Well, we didn't forget that one, certainly.
Certainly have not forgot that one at all. Laura.
Come
Laura,
on.
this is your auntie just coming for everyone to give a PSA. We all were given those 3 cardinal rules. Everybody knows them.
And for a reason, too.
For a reason.
Yeah.
For a reason that you almost came face to face with.
Yeah. Buddy system.
And when you come face to face with that and you escape with your life and not being assaulted, we have to say, thank you, universe, or whoever, for looking out for me. And then I will not do this anymore.
Thank you for my close call. I will learn a lesson from it. But when we're in college, we're like, oh, I'll learn a lesson in 10 or 15 more years.
Yes. Or I'll learn a lesson for 2 weeks and then I'm fine. No shade. I did it more times than I can count on several college campuses. But to everyone that's currently in college or going into college, no woman left behind, no friend left behind. Don't ever let somebody walk home alone. Don't be the person to walk home alone. Call it in if you see somebody, because do I think it was a shadow person? No, I think it was
a person shadow.
Yeah. A person shadow that had some sort of sinister intentions at the very least.
Yeah. I think nobody jumps out of the viewpoint of a woman walking home alone in an alleyway at 2:00 in the morning, other than a person who's like, well, I don't want to be picked out of a photo lineup later. So let me hide my, if it's a classmate or somebody just going, how's it going? And just walks by you.
Yeah.
But the hiding, I think, tips you off. And I think a shadow person also would have just been like, I'm a soul, and just like, keep walking or whatever, versus somebody who's got a ski mask they've got to pull down really quickly. So I feel you, though. This is the kind of shit I would do. Like, same thing of like, you just think you're invincible, and to echo what you said, you're not, and I'm not, and none of us are. So as soon as we know better, we got to just walk with a friend. I think we think like, well, you have my location shared and stuff. It's like, that's one thing. If you're like, if I go run at White Rock Lake and there's 100 people also running and we all kind of see each other, I'm not going to go by myself in a dark alley and run. Like I've rules.
Even with your location
shared?
Even
with my location shared. No. And
by the time we all find out we need your location, it's too late usually, so it's good to help us find the body, but we don't want it to get to that point.
Right. Or, if your phone gets separated from you or something, now we're going to some house where you dropped it in front of it and your body is gone. To a second location. So not to sound like you're paranoid aunties, but yes, everybody. And Laura's probably like, I know, I'm out of college. I don't do it anymore. And it's like, yes, but this for all the future us's, the little mini us's that are out there.
Absolutely. And oh man, how you're right. Young and dumb. I could do a 20-part series called Christy's Young and Dumb Adventures that nearly ended in death, and it would be jam-packed every episode.
I was going to say, you'll throw out like just the log line of what happened, and you're like, that's when we crossed the border into Tijuana with a stranger. I was 15. and you're like, anyway, and I'm like, you did what? I was like, what?
Yeah. It wasn't Tijuana. It was Is it Brownsville that's right on there?
Like goes over, yeah, whatever.
Across from Padre, but it's still stupid. Very, very
wild
stupid.
Times.
Also,
Wild times.
around 2 a.m. So, yeah. But when we know better, we do better. And I certainly, from my own antics, know a lot to give my children fair warning of like, we don't do these things.
Oh, absolutely.
But Mom, you did it. I know.
Exactly.
And it's a miracle I live to tell the tale. So you won't do it.
Like, think of it like a science experiment. And I did all the experiments and now I know what to do and what not to do. So now you just read the studies of the scientists that came before you. You don't redo the things that they did.
No.
Be smart. Work smarter, not harder.
It's stupid for history to repeat itself.
With an open note test.
Had to just stare directly into the camera for a moment to put a period on that one. But yes, so glad you're okay. And also, I'm interested, you mentioned frat and sorority kind of interchangeably. If wherever you went, they are interchangeable, because where I went, it was like guys were frats, girls were sororities. There was sorority row, there was frat row. They did, interact quite a bit for parties. Sometimes though, you'd have like a sorority would have like their sister fraternity. That's probably not what they called them. I wasn't in Greek life, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like they're our brother house.
The Kappas and the SAs or the SAEs. Let's not call them the SAs. They probably don't like that. But
depends on what school.
Yeah. So they, would like partner up and do stuff. So maybe that's what you mean by your frat was in the middle of that and you were walking home from like one you partied at quite a bit.
But also, frat person, walk me home
Walk
then,
me
fellow frat.
home. Yeah, for sure. Guys, if a girl is leaving the frat house by herself, one, ask, where are your friends? And then say, okay, well, do you want me to walk you? But even then it's like, do I want a frat guy walking me home that I might maybe don't know? So just stay with your friends. Go with your girlfriends. Leave with your girlfriends.
It's always a good plan.
Mm-hmm.
Sinisterhood. We'll be right back.
Well, this next one is from C, not me. And there is a trigger warning of substance abuse with this one that C included. And it's called, Did I Go to the Beach? Hey ladies, longtime listener here, and I wanted to say I love listening to you while the both of you keep me company as a stay-at-home mom. I've been meaning to write in for a while now, but you know how it is when you have kids. I do. C continues. So my story begins around 2003 when I was working at a resort at Pigeon Forge. I was a young 22-year-old without a care in the world when my friend and coworker introduced me to a guy we'll call K. Kay also worked at the resort, but in a different department, so it was pretty unlikely that we would have crossed paths otherwise. He was cocky and arrogant and 18 years my senior, which normally I would have been grossed out by. But there was something about him that totally drew me in, and that I later found rather charming. I never wanted kids, so the age difference didn't really matter. He asked for my number, and I ended up going to his place a few days later. We hit it off, and I thought I had met the love of my life. I basically moved in, and things went downhill from there. Kay was heavily addicted to prescription drugs and alcohol, and I quickly started using with him, and our relationship became reckless. We had a constant supply of pills, weed, and alcohol. We were in a vicious cycle of fighting and making up nonstop. Yet we were both able to continue to get up every morning and make it to work. After about a year, it finally caught up with Kay, and he was fired from the resort, but immediately found a job in Hilton Head, so he went on while I stayed behind. Once he got settled, I drove to Hilton Head to check it out and planned on moving there. But once I got there, it rained and rained and rained. It was awful. I sat in the apartment the whole time and never got a chance to see everything the beach had to offer. And as you can guess already, I was popping pills and heavily drinking since I wasn't able to do much of anything else until it was time for me to go back home. When I got back and finally sobered up, I know I should have never been driving in the first place. I hopped in the shower to get ready for bed. When I opened the shower curtain, I saw my reflection in the mirror, and I had tan lines. What the fuck? Tan lines? How? It stormed the whole time. I stood in front of the mirror for the longest time trying to make it make sense. To this day, I have no recollection of going to the beach or the pool. I have no recollection of the weather even clearing up for a second to even put on a bathing suit. In that moment, I knew what I had to do. I called Kay and told him that I would not be moving and that I was ending our relationship. He was fine with it, and we both just went our separate ways until 2016. The morning of August 17th, 2016, I woke up from the most beautiful dream I'd ever had. Kay and I were walking through this field of wildflowers talking. He was apologizing for everything. He was telling me how much he loved me, how sorry he was for everything, and that one day I would be a good mom and wife to a lucky man. It was so strange. I hadn't talked to or even really thought about him in years. I couldn't shake it off, but I got up and went about my day. Later that evening, I got a call from the same friend who had introduced us, telling me that Kay had passed away the night before. I was in shock. In that moment, I knew that it was not a dream. It was a very real encounter that I had with Kay after he passed. I know that he came to visit me, make amends, and give us both some much-needed closure. I will be forever grateful for that experience. Fast forward to today. I can say other than an occasional beer after a stressful day, I am completely sober from all other substances. I'm also a mom of 3-year-old twin boys. You could imagine my shock of not only finding out I was pregnant, but finding out I was pregnant with twins. I've attached a pic for your eyes only. Thank you, ladies, for all you do, and hopefully you can make it to Knoxville soon. Take care. C.
Well, first of all, see, your boys look like models. They're
Oh
gorgeous.
my gosh.
I'm so happy.
I love the hair. Oh my goodness. What a cute picture of the two of them.
Sweet faces.
And what a brave thing and the right thing you did, because I don't think there was something paranormal here going on. I think probably sometimes we drink and do so many pills and drugs that we completely black out and lose hours of time or forget we've completely gone and done something. And it kind of sounds like that's what happened. And it was the wake-up call you needed.
Yeah, it's terrifying to go, how'd I get this insert whatever here, stamp on my hand, tattoo on my arm, whatever. So, and to think that you were close to water with no cognition, no memory of being there. You don't remember how you got there. It's like, thank God you didn't, roll over into a pool or something. So I think having that thought of, oh, this has gone far enough. And I think maybe that little bit of a distance, driving back home away from him, kind of going, I'm kind of thinking clear-headed for the first time in a while. And the sun is actually shining that I remember it shining. It's time for me to shut it down. But when we went to the psychic fair, one of the women we talked to there had said that sort of encounter dreams or like visitation type dreams oftentimes are like this, where someone's within arm's length talking directly to you.
Yeah. And it feels different than you just run into somebody. It feels like you've actually met back up with them, which is exactly what it sounds like you described here. And, I'm so glad that gave you the closure that you needed, because that is a very heavy thing to carry after a relationship already tumultuously ending. And then you find out they've passed. So even in dreams in another realm, I'm glad that amends were made and that you have now a beautiful life with beautiful boys.
You kind of look at the trajectory of your life sometimes and just be like, wow, I wonder if I hadn't done that. I hadn't taken this job, met that person, fallen in love with that person, and taken all these different pathways. And we end up where we're at. And it definitely makes you lucky for where you are, especially understanding how bumpy the road was. But thanks for sharing those cute boys' faces with us.
Absolutely.
Man, I hope we get to Knoxville soon too. I love Knoxville and Pigeon Forge and all that.
Yeah, I've never been, but we're trying to go to Dolly Parton.
Yeah, that's
World.
right.
What I don't think she calls it that. Dollywood. Yeah. Nashville's great. So I love Tennessee. Yeah.
It's a great
get back there soon. Well, thank you so much, C, for sharing that with us.
Sinisterhood will be right back. Well, this next one's from Chelsea, and the subject line is nighttime trauma. Hey, ladies, I was listening to the Freaky Friday episode about the listener who did things in their sleep, and it related to me enough that I decided to write in. When my younger sister, we'll call Kay, and I were in elementary school, our parents purchased a cabin on a lake in northern Minnesota. We only lived like an hour and a half away from the cabin in our old family farmhouse, the house our dad actually grew up in. So it wasn't your typical hours-long drive to a remote cabin in the woods where you get no cell service. It was essentially in a neighborhood full of old people who lived there every day, but we would only spend weekends there. Kay and I shared a room back home at the farm and at this cabin, which was something now, as an adult, I wish I would have cherished more instead of hated back then. I could go on forever with stories about sharing a room with Kay, but this one takes the cake. One night, I kind of woke up to her absolutely freaking out and running around our tiny room looking for something. She was repeating, "I need to find the box. I need to find the box." Me, still being half asleep, started helping her search for the box. It didn't take long for me to fully wake up mid-search and realize there was no box, and she was still sleeping. I stopped my search and told her to get back in bed. I'm sure I was much more irritated while saying it because she disrupted my sleep, and being assertive is the only way to wake a sleepwalker enough to get them back to bed. In the morning, I asked her what the heck she was dreaming about. Her response, SpongeBob. The day before, she had watched the episode where Patrick had a secret box and refused to let SpongeBob look in it. There were also many, many nights of her waking me up screaming because of spiders being all over her. There were never any spiders seen at the time, but since it was your typical lake cabin, there were plenty of them inside. She was terrified of spiders, so that's what her night terrors were based on. I wasn't scared of them, so I always protected her and killed them. To this day, spiders are the only thing she fears that much. The odd part is, she only had nighttime issues at the lake cabin, not the creepy haunted farmhouse we lived in. Fast forward to my life now. I have an 8-year-old son who reminds me of Kay in so many ways, right down to the night terrors and sleepwalking. I also have a boyfriend, not the father of my son, who coincidentally enough talks and walks in his sleep. I don't have many stories about them though. My son likes to sleep play with our cats, which is entertaining. Otherwise, he'll just walk out into the living room, stare at you, and then go back to the bathroom, back to his bed, or just have bad night terrors, which sucks because he's harder to wake up then. It hurts my mom heart seeing him so upset. My boyfriend one time had a dream about the casino, and I woke up to him saying, "Fuck, shit, damn, this machine isn't working." It was the night before his 30th birthday. Guess where we were going for his birthday? The casino. He also sleep laughs, turns on his lamp just to sit up and stare at the wall, and occasionally will go to the window just to look out for it a bit and then lays back down. He's also tried to initiate something when I was most definitely asleep, which is pretty creepy, but more so annoying. I like to think growing up with Kay helped me prepare for my future of living with weird sleepers, which tells me is exactly where I need to be in life. Aside from her fear of spiders, Kay is the strongest person I know and ever will know. She was diagnosed with invasive ductal carcinoma grade 3 in 2020, right after her youngest daughter turned 1. Kay was only 26. She was in remission for a year, then the cancer came back in 2022 as stage 4 and is now taking over her body. A few weeks ago, she had brain surgery to remove one large tumor and is still undergoing radiation for the remainder of the small brain tumors, along with radiation for the tumors in other locations. Throughout her battle, Kay has remained positive and strong, which is something I know I could never be in her position. My 2 nieces, her daughters, will grow up knowing they had the baddest bitch of a mother, in a good way. Kay is one of the most caring, funniest, and easygoing people you'd ever get the chance to meet. It makes me wonder, why do bad things happen to good people? Thank you for taking the time to read my submission, even if it doesn't end up on the pod. I attached a photo for your eyes only of my younger sister and nieces after her brain surgery. She looks like nothing was just dug out of her head because that's just how big of a badass she is.
Oh, man. Well, Kay, you are a badass. And this picture of you with your girls, man.
Beautiful girls. And
yes,
like you said, you do not look like you've had something recently dug out of your head. You just like a radiant smile. We got kids like that. It's probably not hard to smile, and some Cheetos on your tray there for you. But I wonder that same thing. Why do bad things happen to good people? I think I love that Bleacher song. Everybody lost somebody. I think everybody in our lives has got somebody that we're like, man, you deserve better than that. You were so good. But you have great memories with your sister. Not only that, she did set you up for your future. This is your life.
Oh, first of all, the SpongeBob thing, classic. Spiders, that is like a common thing of friends I have that have night terrors. spiders is one. I also have a friend that had many times has just woken up ripping covers off, and her husband's like, what is happening? And she's like, there's hamsters in the bed. And he's like, there are not. But
that I would notice.
we will look for them, I guess, if that's gonna get you to go back to sleep. But yeah, it's when Ella was little, she would have night terrors and just like sitting up in bed screaming, and you're in there looking at them like, what's wrong? And they're just staring at you, but the lights are on and nobody's home type of thing. And then eventually they just kind of go back to sleep. It is wild though. And it would be Paranormal Activity-esque if I woke up in the middle of the night and Tommy was just standing at the window looking outside.
You're like, what the fuck are you doing? And it's just
Get
like,
back in bed. What are you doing?
like, what's out
He
there?
just sits straight up, click, click, turns the light on, turns, gets out of bed.
Hate it. No, just like opens your door, just starts looking at it like, nope, nah. But luckily both of our husbands just sleep like logs. So they're so like, just,
I fell out of a chair the other fucking night in the bedroom. Like a full ass chair. Tommy was asleep. I was sitting in a chair trying to pop my back, and I tumped the whole chair over, and he slept through the whole thing as I just laid there contemplating my life.
no, don't get the chalk and draw an outline around me. It's fine.
I'll be fine. Just give me a few minutes.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Chelsea, for sharing your sweet kiddo, your sweet boyfriend, and your sweet sister with us.
Yes.
And Godspeed if the family ever like rents a lake house together. The three of them are gonna be up having a tea party in the morning, and like in the middle of the night, and everybody else is like, "What is that?"
They're like, just let him be.
Don't worry about him. Sinisterhood will be right back. Well, this next one's from Ash, and the subject line is, "This is it. I'm being haunted." Hi, ladies. I appreciate you guys so much, and you have kept me sane during some very tough times in the last few years. So, a little bit of background information to start. My husband and I live in my Mima and Papa's house, and we're the second to last house on our very quiet small town street. There's an equally quiet street that crosses railroad tracks in a sharp turn right behind our house. The next important tidbit of information is that I am a career bartender, so my nights tend to be late. One particular evening, after a closing shift, I was sitting at my dining table budgeting out my cash, per my usual routine, and I thought I heard an unexpected sound. I sat for a moment and listened intently, trying to decide if I had actually heard something or not. Then continued counting out cash. Suddenly, I thought I heard a voice. I jolted and thought, this is it. I'm being haunted. My Meemaw has something to say to me. Immediately after I had this thought, I heard a loud, hello, and banging on our back door. This is where we take a turn. I bolted into the living room and look out the window, which was shocking because I'm normally a wimp. I discovered a lady banging on the door, yelling, and trying to open our door at 3 a.m. I ran to the bedroom and shook my husband and said, there's someone here, to which he replied, and rolled over. So I shouted, someone is trying to get in the house. He bolted out of bed, barreled through the house, and all 6'2" and 240 pounds of his butt-ass naked man yanked the door open and yelled, who the fuck are you? Bless this poor woman who just got an eyeful. Whoever this lady was, she had gotten her car stuck in the ditch on the edge of the railroad tracks behind our house and was trying to get my attention because we were the only house with the lights on. She was clearly fleeing some sort of situation. She was frantic with a special needs child and a dog in the car. My husband apologized, put pants on, and went to investigate while I called my dad, who's close with a lot of the local railroad folks, to ask if I needed to somehow alert a dispatcher or something. Thankfully, my parents are long retired and answered the phone. We got her righted and sent on her way, but only about 5 minutes before a train came by. So, that's the story of how I thought I was being haunted. Just for listener friends who might find themselves at any sort of railroad crossing incident, there's a sign on every crossing with a phone number and a designated number for the crossing. Call and let someone know what's happening. It could save a life. Thank you for reading my story, even if it stays between us. Keep it creepy, stay safe at railroad crossings, and pay attention to potential hauntings.
The thought of your naked giant husband running through the house This woman has already been through it, and now this is what she's greeted with.
She's like, no worries. I just crashed my car. I'm going to knock on a friendly neighbor for help. And it's just a huge nude man being like, who are you?
I mean, anytime someone's banging on your door at 3 a.m, just like the one we had last week where it was like 2 a.m. and the doorbell's ringing, those are not business hours for most people. So our brains immediately go to, this can't be anything good. It's like if your phone rings at 3 a.m. and you're like, well, somebody died. This isn't going to be good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not like, oh, my buddy's calling me.
Yeah.
Like, no, they're not like, maybe my friend's coming by. They're banging on the door. I thought, well, maybe if it were me and I was the knocker, what would I do to seem less threatening? But I think even going, I just crashed my car in the railroad, knock, 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 and I just need help for crashing my car. Like, it doesn't matter what you're yelling. It's 3 a.m. So I think a regular knock's probably better.
And it sounds like if she was fleeing something that's really hard, if she's got a special needs child and an animal and it's 3 a.m. and
what are you going to do? Yeah.
Yeah. I will say somehow I've gotten on train talk lately, and the amount of close calls people have with driving over those train tracks and they get stuck. And normally they're like 18 wheelers that are, just like can't make the turn, and they'll get like just the cabin part over the edge. And here comes the train and just knocks the whole fucking back of the thing off. And I'm like, bro, somebody was looking out for you, because I mean, they can't slow down. The thing is, the trains at some point, like even if they slow down, you're still going to get literally, rolled over by a train. So jump out the car. The car can be replaced. You cannot, get whatever you need to out of the car. And, because you never know, 5 minutes later, a train could be coming by.
For real, I always try to not park, but if I have to stop at a railroad crossing, stop like even almost like a half a car length back, because I'm like, I just don't want someone to rear end me, and then even if I'm like, I stopped and they pushed me on the tracks, like I didn't even do this,
or something happens with the train and it like gets. I don't like trains and cars. I feel like we shouldn't be on the same.
They shouldn't be mixing.
We shouldn't be. There's certain places where we just shouldn't drive, or other things are driving.
No, never the twain shall meet. Well, thank you, Ash, for the tip on the railroad crossing. I didn't even know that, but everybody that's listening, I guess if the shit goes down at a railroad crossing, be a patriot, call it in.
That's while we're all just sitting there waiting for it to go by, and you're like, I'm gonna be late. But think about also, maybe there was a reason you're supposed to be late.
Dang, I know it's what everybody talks about, the burnt toast theory, and I'm a big fan of the story that's like like a proverb that our dean used to tell us of, like, good news, bad news, who's to say. We're like, oh, I didn't do X. Well, now, and that sucks, but then you find out, well, whatever that would have affected, actually, it's better that you didn't do it. So I'm a big fan of being like, well, I don't know. This seems bad, but we'll see how the shit shakes out, as Tommy Brown would say.
Quote my husband, when the shit shakes out, we'll see where we all land.
The poet, the scholar, Tommy Brown.
The poet laureate of our generation.
He is. Well, thank you so much, Ash, for that story. Sinisterhood will be right back. The final one is from Kathy, and the subject line is Australian ER story. I told you we were going to end this one right. So Kathy writes, I began my nursing career in the ER of a small regional hospital in 1995. Night shift typically consisted of 3 RNs, 1 doctor, and 1 receptionist. Back in 1995, we did not have screens or bulletproof glass between us and the waiting room. It was just a desk with a small triage nook that was open to the world. This is important. One night, a man came in who was clearly suffering some kind of mental health issue. We assessed him and asked him to take a seat in the thankfully empty waiting room, assuring him the doctor wouldn't be long. After about 20 or 25 minutes of waiting, he became very agitated, asking how much longer the doctor would be. We assured him again that he was next to be seen and it wouldn't be long. The man wasn't happy with that response and yelled, well, I'm leaving, and when I come back, I'm bringing my guns to shoot you bitches. He then turned and stormed out. As there was a threat of serious violence coupled with mental issues, we called the local police, who happened to know him very well. They said they'd go to his house and check on him. In the meantime, I ran to the x-ray department and brought back all of the lead vests. We put them on and sat at the triage desk, ducking for cover every time the doors opened. The man didn't come back that night, but the police called the next morning with an update. Fortunately for us, it had been a hot night. On the way home, the man decided to have a swim in the lake. It was so refreshing that he didn't feel like walking back to the hospital to shoot us. They also stated that, yes, he had multiple firearms in his home ready to go. You know, quote, just in case I change my mind. Please also see the list below and a picture of my pupster, the Millinator. My list. A list of things I have pulled out of rectums and vaginas. Deodorant spray cans, necklaces, rings, bags of drugs, syringes, potatoes, car gear stick knob, beer glasses, ketchup bottles, and, as one might expect, dildos.
Okay.
It was the list that I was making the
I feel like we gotta rank these in order of worst to get stuck. No, easiest to get stuck versus worst.
What we would like. Yeah. I'm going dildos is easiest, probably. Like, dildos is, like, supposed to go there. I mean, depending.
I don't want it stuck in me.
No, you gotta have a
I feel like a ring
syringe
or a necklace might be easier to get that out than a dildo.
Yeah. I don't want anything sharp. So rings, necklaces, and syringe, anything metal.
Oh, the syringes is oof.
Oh, beer glasses. And unless it's a plastic ketchup bottle, which I don't love it if it's plastic, but I definitely don't want a glass Heinz bottle anywhere.
No, I don't. God. And then that breaks and you're like, it's just ketchup. I know it looks terrible, but the potato. Let's talk about that.
The thing about a potato is there's a time at which the door closes behind the potato. Like, it gets so far that, and you know you're done so, and you're going to have to, you're like, oh, I gotta go. I gotta pull that, the potato got stuck between my cheeks. Yeah. Deodorant spray can? How big is that can? Like, we talking like 20 ounces? Like,
I'm thinking of like, I was thinking like, dry shampoo can size, which is about 8 inches long.
Yeah, this is a mini one.
Oh, maybe it's a mini.
I'd say a fatter. I'd say a bigger, fatter one.
You know, yeah. The car gear stick knobs, I've got some questions, because if one was riding that and was doing so hard that it broke off. One, where's the car? Because if it's not turned on, will it move?
It's just in neutral. It stays in neutral.
I guess in my head, I was thinking this was a stick shift, and they were like, woo, like really riding the bronc and buck. Riding the buck and bronc. But if it was in park, then I guess it's just an up and down. Still, either way, if you're doing it hard enough to break it off, wow.
That's the dangerous thing, because if you accidentally hit it in gear, you better have the parking brake on or you're donezo. But I also was disturbed at the S on the end of a lot of these words. Deodorant spray cans, rings. Yeah. Car gear stick knobs, ketchup bottles.
Not just
one. It's been since 1995, so it's been a long, illustrious career. But
all of these have S's on them.
Oh, they do.
None of these was a single time. She wasn't like, and one time I had to pull a potato out of a guy's ass. No. It's potatoes.
Jar jelly. You know, whatever it is. It's horrific. I think I'm going dildo, car gear stick, potato, plastic ketchup bottle, spray can, and then the rest of them are equally ranked as horrible. Anything glass or sharp. Yeah. Also drugs, depending on what the drugs are bagged in. That have to be like a really solid Ziploc situation for me to trust it.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to explode.
Well, you know, or you have a hell of a Saturday night, you know? I mean,
it's like, brace yourself. The plastic didn't hold.
You're like, why is Heather on the car gear stick knob? Because the cocaine busted in her vagina and she is fucking loose right now. She is wilding out.
She went a bag of cocaine, then a ring that was sharp and broke the thing. Yeah, this is crazy.
Then she wanted French fries and was like, "Where's the ketchup?" We were like, "Don't stick that up there. There's already enough things up there."
They put me in the stirrups of like Mary Poppins' purse, just unloaded shit like deodorant. This is hairspray.
Mary Poppins' puss just out of there.
Let's go fly a kite. And there's a kite up there too.
There
by the
is
way.
a kite.
Just
Yeah,
so you know.
Yeah, that one was real hard to get out.
It's like a pouch. It's like a carry on, but it's carry in. My carry in bag.
I think best thing to pull out. Ooh, I'm gonna say bag of drugs, because I feel like it would be like the least painful.
I felt like Family Feud. Show me bag of drugs.
And then worst thing, I mean, I feel like a car gear, stick knobs, or anything glass. Yeah, I don't want anything glass. Syringes. I think I'm going to go with syringes, because if I had a syringe up there to begin with, things have gone terribly bad.
Yeah, I don't even want a syringe like plunger side out of my ass, and so then the pointy part's out, and then it's like a stinger, and I'm running around trying to poke people with it. I don't function like a bee.
I think it's pointy side in because people are injecting drugs.
Yeah, so not the stinger situation I was envisioning.
I don't think that's
Muhammad Ali did not mean float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. He didn't mean, and that by that I mean put a syringe into your rectum, plunge your side in. Yeah, and then sit down on someone and be like, sting like a bee. Ugh.
No, I think it was more stinger in, pushed it too far. Again, probably had a great time for a few hours, and then you're like, now we got to go to the hospital because I got to get this out of me.
Yeah, the gasp that I'm sure that the staff is like, well, okay then. Yeah. We'll get you out of there. So
we'll get it out.
It's not always fun to be an x-ray tech, but I bet particularly, because you might have to x-ray something sad, a broken bone on a child or a lump on a person who doesn't want to see the lump. But this might be kind of fun.
Sometimes you get a potato up an asshole, though.
You scan them and you're like, is that an Academy Award statuette? Richard Gere, not you again. Just kidding. His was
Richard
a hamster.
Gere, get out of here.
I just dreamt there were hamsters in my ass. That's my night terror.
I was putting it up there to get all those hamsters out. God, what a rumor to this day he has yet to live down. That was started when I was like a child in the 80s, and we're still talking about it.
His publicist is like, don't worry, eventually people are going to stop talking about it. He's like, eventually? And you know what? His obituary in another 30 years, let's hope Richard Gere lives a long life. The hamsters do give him vitality, I think. So in another 30 years, when he's dead, it's going to go actor, hamster enthusiast? I don't know. Richard Gere dead?
I feel like 81? We won't even know when he's dead, because the hamsters, much like on a wheel, are going to keep him alive.
They're just walking into him?
Weekend at Bernie's style. They're like running around down there, and he's just jiggling around. So none of us we're like, Richard Gere seems like he's had a lot of coffee these days.
They're like, he only drinks water out of one of those weird things that attaches to the side, like a little sucker, like the guineas drink out of.
And he's eating all of his food like this. With his little hands up here.
The man loves hay. He loves hay. Well, I'll tell you that. Poor Richard Gere always gets brought up when people talk about sticking stuff in their butts.
They do. They do. Well, the second thing I think of is Pretty Woman. So maybe that helps him out.
And he's like, and then any other movies?
I'm like, you were great. And aside Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman, you were fantastic.
Julia Roberts, man.
The Millinator. Don't ever stick that up your butt, because one, probably wouldn't fit, but two, too cute.
What a face. I want to scratch behind those sweet ears. We'll put Millinator up for everybody, and then sound off in the comments on Patreon or on social media. What would you rather have stuck up your ass? Just throw it in the chat.
Rank this list and tag yourself. Or what if you were one of these things? Which is more likely if you were one of these things to be stuck up somebody's ass? I think I'd be a ring.
Oh, nice. I feel like
I wear a lot of jewelry.
Potato. So like potato.
Actually, who are we kidding? I'd probably be bags of drugs, but I would lose my pinky ring trying to get it out myself.
You guys seen a Seiko up there?
Nice callback to my high school watch that we found a picture of the other day.
My fucking Seiko, dude.
Is my
I love
Seiko
it.
up there? Is my
Hey!
James Avery some
Charm
sort of
bracelet.
ring up there? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, now my jewelry is much more pointy
Yeah,
and
it's too sharp.
expensive, so I'd be real
Yeah.
bummed if
It's way
got stuck
different
up there.
Oh man, what a time. Thank you, Kathy. And thank you for everything you do we laughed about the shoving up the ass stuff, but it's fucking scary that anybody is
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about
let's
the
not
fact
like over
that you
or a
no
hero.
one was like, well, we have to shut up shop for today because we could be shot. Instead, you are a badass and you're like, I'm getting all the fucking lead vest and we're just going to sit here.
Work smarter, not hard. But
Dude.
you know what? The bulletproof glass, it's sad that any of us need it. In especially situations like this where it's like, we're here to stop injuries, you
Yeah.
guys. You don't come here to make more injuries. I feel like it's something
Fortunately,
so
that's not
so
the
nasty.
case.
Yeah, so nasty about attacking hospitals because it's where the most vulnerable people are, and
Yeah.
they are very lucky to have caretakers like you, Kathy, that are there
Yes.
to willing to quite literally stand on the front lines in front of them with nothing more than a little X-ray vest to
Yeah.
protect you, man.
And to stick a potato, not stick one, they're going to get it out. I also, and this is for anyone that can answer this, what do y'all use? Like, is there a specific tool besides just, because I feel like if the potato is so far up there that the door has closed behind it, your hand isn't going to be able to go. I feel like you got to have like forceps, or maybe there's some sort of a tool that, like you stab the potato and then you probably don't want to
So
stick
like a
something up
fork.
there that you can stab.
Just get a long serving fork, a crab fork, a nice small, like just get a crab. You know those things they tell you to get if you have kids in case the kids choke and it suctions like it sucks the shit out of their mouth. Maybe it works on both.
Maybe it works that way.
Once you use it on the butt, that's just the butt sucker. You can't also then bring it back if someone starts choking. So buy two. Just to be safe.
Yeah. They're not interchangeable.
No, it's
Do
like the
not use both
popcorn
those.
bowl. Once you use the popcorn bowl as the barf bowl, that's where it is now.
That's
and
now
please
is that.
never bring me popcorn in that again.
No.
It's gone.
No. Hold on. Oh, man.
Tickle.
Terrible nose itch. And I ask that because I imagine a lot of these situations, people might be alone, so they don't have someone to help them. But in someone else is there partaking.
Mhm.
So surely before you go to the hospital, you've tried everything to get it out yourself. So if like someone laying down and another person can't easily reach up there and get it, like a tool, I would think, has to be used.
I think a lot of these people are quitters, that if they only had a squatty potty at home, that they could gut it out themselves.
Yeah.
Like, or it's gargoyle sit. Just, you need to be gargoyle sitting over a bathtub or something.
Yeah.
It'll come out eventually.
Yeah, I got a squatty potty. So if anybody gets one of these stuck up their ass, let me know and I'll open my bathroom to you.
Yeah. Or if I come over and I'm like, do you have the squatty potty? Can I put it in the studio bathroom? You're like, why? I'm like, I just need to be in there for a few minutes. You're like, you're walking weird. What'd you have for dinner? I'm like, just steak and potato. Nothing. Don't worry about it. Can I use I'm not feeling well. I need to use your bathroom. Stupid.
Oh man. Yeah. And then I just hear,
Meanwhile, Tommy's like,
plop. And it's just, and then you're like, flush. I feel great. Now we can continue. But
Y'all
man,
are
once
like-
that does come out, what a relief it is, you know?
Plop, plop, fizz, fizz, indeed. What a relief it is. Well, thank you, Kathy, for getting us on this butt stuff to end the week on. What a way
Yes.
to end the week. It's the life of a showgirl, baby. Things come in, things go out.
Yeah. You know how many times a showgirl said something stuck up her? Probably more than we want to talk about.
That's the bonus tracks we haven't heard.
Yeah, the bonus tracks are just each one of these.
Deodorant, spray cans, and necklaces and rings, a bag of drugs.
with syringes. Now you get to the potatoes and the car gear, stick knobs, beer glasses, ketchup bottles, dildos. That's the life of a showgirl.
It is, baby. Well, and also the Millinators, the showgirl with
Yes, the
those
ultimate
big
showgirl.
baleful eyes.
Well, thank you so much, Kathy, for sending that in, and to everyone else who sent in your Freaky Friday stories. If you have an odd but true story, maybe you've encountered Bigfoot, you've seen a UFO, you had a brush with true crime, or you felt the presence of an otherworldly being, like a potato up your butt, send them in at sinisterhood.com/Freaky Friday. Speaking of freaky, got something creepy caught on camera, found a weird or unexplainable clip online? Maybe you just have a funny video you need us to see. Well, send it our way and we'll live react to it during Sunday Scaries, our weekly live stream over on Patreon every Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Central. It's totally free. You just enter your email, you get access to the stream. It's uncut, unedited until it goes on YouTube. So you want to watch it over on Patreon so you get to see the real thing and chat with us and react with us in real time. They are so much fun. As you heard earlier, you get such videos like Sally Struthers walking, which is, there's a lot more to it than just that.
Fucking Rue McClanahan and them cats. I'll never forget.
Oh my God.
I'll never
take
forget.
care of your cat.
And she's just like, I don't even know why we're here. And you're like, we're rolling, Rue McClanahan. Not to mention the animal mouths and all kinds of fucking birds and shit you never
Nobody
expect.
knows why we're here, but we have a great time. So we hope to see you over there Sunday at 8:30 p.m. If you like our free episodes, you'll love our Patreon bonus content. You can join for free to see what we're up to next. And like I said, by doing that, you just get access to Sunday Scaries as well as the whole backlog of free stuff just for saying thank you for joining our community. You can also join at a tier and get over 1,000 hours of bonus content like Judge Christie, where I rule on petty grievances you bring before the court. True Crime Headlines, where we break down the latest news and updates in true crime. Heather Saves, where anything Heather has found late night scrolling could be discussed, and By the Asshole, unpopular opinions, and other subreddits that we feel require our input.
If you want to check out any of those perks, but you're not really sure what tier you might want to join, go ahead and do a free trial. It's where you join for a week at any of the tiers. You get to binge, check out all the perks, and if you cancel before the trial is over, you won't get charged. But if you do stick around, you'll get a free week, and then you can get a free month if you do an annual membership. And when you do that, you get 12 months of all kinds of stuff like
ad-free episodes, monthly live stream Q&As, quarterly live bonus content. We let you all vote on what you want to see, weekly audio bonus content, minisodes, merch discounts, and a community of the best listeners on the whole internet.
Head over to Sinisterhood.com and click shop on the top banner to check out Sinisterhood merch like t-shirts, mugs, totes, stickers, and even clothes for your kiddos.
While you're on our website, you can also review the show and submit topics and cases you'd like us to cover. And you'll find fun things like topic-based playlists and tickets for Crime Wave at Sea 2025 and Season of the Witch, which you got to buy them now because the show is tomorrow. If you're hearing this right now, you got to get it right now. There's still tickets left. We hope to see you there. And Crime Wave at Sea, November 3rd through 7th, leaving out of Fort Lauderdale, the largest true crime festival at sea. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to be hanging out with Henry and Ed of Side Stories, Dan and Lynn's of Scared to Death, True Crime Campfire, Paranormal Chicks. There's a whole bunch of very cool people there. Fan meetups with us. We're all just going to be hanging out on a cruise ship. So we're all going to see each other all the time and eat tons of pizza. And I was looking at all the restaurants that the ship has the other night.
Ooh,
there's a Mexican food one we got to hit up one night.
Oh, give me some nachos, baby. And if you are not able to join us at Season of the Witch and you're here, or if you're hearing this later, you can watch Season of the Witch on demand with Keysway anytime between now and Halloween. So go to sinisterhood.kiswe.com or go to our website and click live shows and you can watch it on demand. So you hear this on October 5th and you're like, son of a bitch, I missed it last night. No worries. You can still watch us right now and
still watch it.
Feel like you were there. And you can follow us on Instagram and Threads at Sinisterhood Pod. You can like us on Facebook at Sinisterhood. Follow us over on YouTube and TikTok at Sinisterhood Podcast to watch clips from the episodes, live streams, and more. And if you're looking for a unique and personal gift for the Sinisterhood fan in your life, or maybe you want to treat yourself to a pep talk, book a cameo now. From happy birthday to birth announcements to congrats on whatever accomplishment, we will create a customized video that can be immediately viewed and sent. Not only is it a thoughtful gift, but it's perfect when you don't want to deal with the hassles of last minute shopping and you're looking for the gift that you're worried that they might already have. You know a cameo is unique each and every time. Go to cameo.com facebook.com/Sinisterhood. Where are you at on the internet?
I am on Instagram and Threads at Christy M. Wallace and TikTok at Christy or GTFO. Heather?
I'm on the internet just scrolling away at Heather versus the world.
Same. Scrolling and reposting. That's the name of my game these days.
For real.
As always, the devil rules the airwaves.
Keep it creepy.
Sin